Hi friends, in the last class we have seen that we have completed rather admission of a partner problems. I hope you might have gone through that. In today's class, we'll be looking at the adjustments that are supposed to be made in case of retirement or death of a partner. That why I am talking about retirement and death or retirement or death, whatever it may be, the adjustments will be the same. Either partner is leaving the firm or partner has died. In both the cases, there is outgoing of a partner. When outgoing of partner takes place, you need to settle the amount which is due to outgoing partner. That is what is being called as retirement or a death. So, in case of outgoing partner, when a partner is leaving the firm, you need to settle the amount due to outgoing partner. So, be it a retirement or be it a death. So, in such in such case, what are the adjustments you should make? And then, when a partner is leaving, the remaining partners will wish to continue the business. Suppose if the remaining partners also don't want to continue, it becomes resolution. You will be learning that in uh, group one, group two of advanced accounting, right? So, if a partner after retiring, one partner has retired or one partner has died, I think you need to go for adjustments relating to partners, okay, to settle the amount due to outgoing partner. Almost the adjustment, just I am giving briefly, I would like to give the adjustments at glance. We have already discussed these things in admission of a partner, same thing briefly, let us look into it. And apart from that, we also should learn few more things, additional things. What are the additional things we need to go for adjustment? So here I am writing the heading retirement, retirement oblique death of a partner. Retirement or death of a partner. So, when a partner has retired or died, when partner has retired or died, we need to go for some adjustments. Here I am writing. When a partner is leaving the firm, we need to adjust the followings. We need to adjust the following. What are the things we need to adjust? When a partner is leaving the firm, we need to adjust the following. Let us see one by one. The most important point in partnership is profit sharing ratio. Again, here I am writing profit sharing ratio. Profit sharing ratio. When we talk about when you talk about profit sharing ratio, we are having again two things here. New ratio. First, we talk about new ratio. As I told you, when you need to have new ratio, when you need to have new ratio, this we have discussed already. When you need new ratio, rather, when you need new ratio, here you should look into it. When raised goodwill is written off, the same point we have discussed in um, admission of a partner. I think when raised goodwill is written off, you remember, you recollect yourself, you recapitulate yourself. This we have done in a statement form, like in the old ratio raising, writing off new ratio, rather than writing the entries. Because the ICA study material, when they are following the accounting standard, They are doing the adjustment of raising the goodwill, writing of the goodwill through statement, but not writing the entries. I think this point is very important. We'll be learning in retirement come admission problem also. So you can raise the goodwill and you can write off the goodwill. I think then we'll be having adjustment. Like in we have learned that this entry, when I was explaining the concept of goodwill, treatment of goodwill, we have also discussed, to recollect yourself, we also had discussion on the treatment of goodwill in case of retirement or a death. Goodwill can be raised and written off. When you're raising the goodwill old ratio, when you're writing off the goodwill, and sometimes you may be having the doubt. I remember few students used to ask me earlier, sir, why you should raise, why should you write off? Simple words, you can raise. Raise is nothing but capitalizing, internally generating goodwill. As per accounting standard, goodwill which has been internally generated can't be recognized in the balance sheet, can't be shown in the balance sheet. Right. Okay, then what happens, sir? You raise the goodwill, but you should write off the goodwill. Then what happens if you raise the goodwill and write off the goodwill? Indirectly, you are adjusting through partners' capital account. Is this clear? You are by raising the goodwill, you are creating the partners' capital accounts. In case of admission, you are creating the old partners. In case of retirement, you are creating all partners. When you are writing off the goodwill, there you are also taking into consideration, including the new partner. Here, in the case of retirement or death, you are looking at the continuing partners or remaining partners in the new ratio. Then the net effect is that, simple words, the logic is that gaining partner account will be debited, sacrificing partner account will be created. In a nutshell, we can say the entire treatment of goodwill. I am recapitulating again, once again. Very simple logic, my dear friend. The partner who is gaining, his account should be debited. The partner who is sacrificing, his account should be created. The net effect of this one is nothing but, the net effect of this one will be, is nothing but gaining partner capital account is to be debited. Generally, in case of admission of a partner, who are gaining partners? Who are gaining partners? Generally, new partner is a gaining partner. New partner or partner. Sometimes you may have more than one partner. We haven't had any problems on that. It's not that only one partner should admit. Sometimes two partners may join the firm. So the partner who joins the firm, are the partners who are joining the firm, and they are the gaining partner. They are the one who gains it. Are very rare cases. One of the old partner also gain. That also we have seen in fifth problem, I think, if I am not wrong. So the gaining partner capital account is to be debited, and sacrificing is, who are sacrificing? Generally, old partners are sacrificing. So when old partners are sacrificing, the partner who are gaining should compensate old partners by bringing the cash. This is what we are learning in admission. In case of retirement, also same thing. When you look at the raising of the goodwill and writing of the goodwill, who are gaining? Tell me. The remaining partners are gaining. The remaining partners are gaining. And who is leaving? Who is leaving? To explain this, just I think before I go into that further, the net effect of is, suppose A, B, C. A is 1 by 2, 1 by 3, B is 1 by 3, C is getting 1 by 3. So this is all about the partners who are sharing profits and losses like this. And what happened? C has decided to retire. Then A 1 by 2, B 1 by 2. Then what happened, my dear friends? A 1 by 2, B 1 by 2. Now, earlier A was getting one third share, 33.33. Now he's getting 50%. How much is gaining? 16.67% is gaining. So is the case of B. Tell me, who is retiring now? C is retiring. When C is retiring, as C has died, I think who is gaining? Remaining partners are gaining. So when raised goodwill is written off, means the net effect will be the same. Who are gaining? A and B. That means in case of retirement or the death, who is the gaining partner? Tell me. Remaining partners are gaining partner. That is why we have learned that is their account should be debited. Who are sacrificing partner? Generally, outgoing partner is a sacrificing partner. Okay. So outgoing partner is a sacrificing partner. So his account should be compensated. This is the logic. I think that adjustment, if you want to do through raising and writing off, I think this concept is useful. Or you can directly write the net effect. But I think this particular raising and writing of goodwill is very easy for you to work out when there is a retirement come admission that we'll be discussing after completion of couple of problems on retirement, right? The new ratio, you need new ratio when raised goodwill is writing off. When you're writing off, you need which ratio? New ratio. Then when memorandum revaluation account is prepared, I'm using MRV, memorandum revaluation account is opened. We have learned that how to open memorandum revaluation account. Simple words, in somebody is going to ask you about what is memorandum revaluation account. You should say adjustment of changes in the value of assets and liabilities through partners capital account. You following? Here, if you want, just for information, what is MRV? Adjustment of changes in the revaluation of assets and liabilities through partners capital account. Through partners capital account is called as memorandum revaluation account. That means it's just like raising the asset and writing off the asset, raising the liability, writing off the liability. Net effect is through partners capital account. So MRV net effect is tell me, adjustment of changes in the revaluation of assets and liabilities through partners capital account. So for doing this, like raising the goodwill, writing of the goodwill, first part we have learned in memorandum revaluation account, admission of a partner. First part is revaluation account, old ratio. Second part is reversal of it, new ratio. Then you need new ratio. Then third point, when partners capitals are adjusted. And partners capitals are adjusted. This also I have told you, when partners capitals are adjusted, we have done one problem in admission, I think. One or two problem. You need which ratio? New ratio. What is the meaning of partners capitals are adjusted? The capitals are according to their profit sharing ratio. My dear friend, detailed explanation I am giving. When we work out the problems, you'll understand it, right? Then second point, after this completion of this profit sharing ratio A, then in case of retirement, I need gaining ratio. I need gaining ratio. Sir, here in the case of retirement or death, I need gaining ratio. What is the gaining ratio, sir? New ratio minus old ratio. Here new ratio means new profit sharing ratio minus old profit sharing ratio is gaining ratio. When you need gaining ratio? When outgoing partners share of goodwill is adjusted through partners capital account. In case of fluctuating capital, we have learned. Suddenly it strikes me because I saw a problem somewhere, we are having fixed capital, fluctuating capital on retirement. That is why I am writing. In case of fluctuating capital, partners current account or partners current accounts in case of in case of fixed capital method. Is this clear? In case of fixed capital method, that means goodwill is to be adjusted when outgoing partner share of when outgoing partner share of goodwill is adjusted through partner's capital account or partner's current accounts. I think you know when you need to adjust to current account when you are following which method? Fixed capital. When to adjust to partner's capital account when you are following fluctuating capital method. Is this clear? When outgoing partner share of goodwill is adjusted through partner's capital account in case of fluctuating capital or partner's current account in case of fixed capital method. Okay, are you following this one? Now this is what is called as without raising without raising without raising goodwill account. Without raising goodwill account. Without raising goodwill account means like I told you goodwill is raised rate or writing off. That means if you don't want to raise the goodwill or write off the goodwill, this is the net effect. Or you raise the goodwill, write off the goodwill, net effect will be the same. Or it is also called as in and out of capital methods. In and out of capital accounts. In and out of means we are adjusting through partners capital account. You learn the entry. You recollect yourself. Remaining partners capital account at our outgoing partners capital. I think then you need which ratio, my dear friends? Gaining ratio. So I've explained you about the profit sharing ratio. Then second point, like we have learned already, revaluation account. I think we also had discussion when to open revaluation account. Whenever there is a change in the value of assets and liability, the change in value of assets and liability, it will be reflected through which account? Revaluation account. This you have already learned in admission, but there the result of revaluation used to transfer to old partners capital account. Here the result of revaluation account, either profit or loss, is transferred to all partners capital account. Is this clear? So profit or loss on profit or loss on revaluation is to be transferred to all partners capital account. Profit or loss on revaluation transferred to all partners capital account. Their old partners. Here all partners means here including outgoing partner. Including outgoing partner. Revaluation account, how to prepare? You know, only the thing is that uh, you need to transfer after preparing the valuation account. You should transfer this to whom? All partners in their old profit sharing ratio. Okay, profit or loss and evaluation account be transferred to all partners capital account in their old profit sharing ratio. In their old profit sharing ratio. Is this clear? In their old profit sharing ratio. Now, see, sometimes like we have seen in admission one problem, you may also need to prepare which account? Memorandum evaluation account. However, if change in value of assets However, if change in value of assets and liabilities are not to be reflected in the balance sheet, then memorandum revaluation account is opened. I think how to open memorandum revaluation account we had already discussed. Okay, this is second adjustment. So it is memorandum revaluation account format we have learned in admission. We have learned in admission. Okay, only the difference is that the first part you will be transferring profit is there, profit or loss, you will be transferring to all partners. Second part you are transferring to revaluation. If you want, you can write first part of memorandum evaluation account, profit or loss transfer to all partners. Capital accounts, all partners capital accounts in old profit sharing ratio. First part. Then second part of memorandum revaluation account, profit or loss transfer to remaining partners capital account. Remaining partners capital accounts in their new profit sharing ratio. New profit sharing ratio. You have seen the first part is like evaluation. Reversal is second part. Second part, see, first part is profit, second part is loss. First part is loss, second part is profit. These things I have explained already. Only in case of retirement or death, you will be transferring to all partners first part, their old partners in case of admission. Comparison, if you look into it. Second part, there used to transfer to all partners, including new partner. Here, remaining partners. In which ratio? New ratio. Okay, is this clear? Sometimes you can expect these things as a statement of true or false also. I think with this, I've completed the second part, revaluation account. Third one is treatment of goodwill. We have already learned. Treatment of goodwill already learned. This we already learned. I've given separate notes for this. Treatment of goodwill. I think better to copy down in the notes. I think I've been telling you right from the beginning. Whatever is being displayed, maybe if you are having a row note, no need to again go back, open the file. If you got the time, that's good. Otherwise, you need not go to your mobile phone or a system again, listening to it in the whatever I'm writing purposefully for your batch. I'm luckily I got the pad which I can use for writing it on the screen. So writing pad. I think see writing tab rather. So I think better you can copy down simultaneously or you can listen, you can understand it. Will be notes will be give you a fair bit of idea. So next, treatment of goodwill. Already I've explained you. Even just now in the beginning, I've told you raised goodwill and writing of goodwill or adjustment through partners capital account. This also we have already discussed. It can be same for retirement or death. Then after that, we'll be looking at transfer of undistributed profits and losses. Transfer of undistributed profit and losses to all partners capital account. Transfer of undistributed profits and losses to all partners capital account in their old profit sharing ratio. You know what are undistributed profits? General reserve, reserve fund, P&L account, credit balance, etc. should be transferred to whom? All partners in which ratio? Old profit sharing ratio. You have learned already there these undistributed profits and losses. Losses means generally P&L account debit balance. This will appear in the balance sheet that will be transferred to all partners. Okay. Then look at the fifth point. Fifth point is about settlement of amount due to outgoing partner. Amount due to settlement of amount due to outgoing partner. Settlement, like in a case of admission, new partner brings the cash towards his share of capital. In case of retirement or death, when partner is leaving, you need to make his payment now after doing all the above adjustment. Yes, settlement of amount due to outgoing partner means here you will be debiting outgoing partner's capital account. Outgoing partner's capital account at R2. If you got enough cash, you can make a payment, bank or cash amount paid. Or you can also transfer if you got part of the amount is being paid, or you don't have any money, you can transfer the amount which is due to outgoing partner to loan account. Outgoing partner's loan account. Amount unpaid. Amount unpaid, you will be transferring to outgoing partner's loan account. I think this is safe. Fifth point. At sixth point, you need to understand. Sixth point is about sometimes remaining partners' capitals has to be adjusted. I think we got one problem, such problem. Then I'll explain how to adjust. But here, just for a note, I am writing adjustment of capitals if required. If required. That we have seen adjustment of partners' capital in case of admission of partner. I have given some explanation there. We have worked out two problems on that. Adjustments of capital if required. That is remaining partners' capitals capital balances are according to their new profit sharing ratio. Adjustment of capitals if required means that is remaining partners capital balances are according to their new profit sharing ratio. This is the sixth point. Adjustment of capitals if required, that is remaining partners remaining partners capital balances are according to their new profit sharing ratio means you need to have the capital base, like in future this is the capital, suppose 5 lakhs is future capital, that capital you want to have according to their new profit sharing ratio. Then if a partner capital is having more, will be paid. The partner is having less capital, will be he will be bringing the cash back. I think that we are having one problem that we can take care of later on. Then after that, new balance sheet after adjusting the above. Right. That is after outgoing partner leaving the firm. After outgoing partner leaving the firm. In these 7 points, you must remember. But however, we are having some special adjustments to be remembered. This is only if situation arises. If normally this is what your intermediate stage, even intermediate stage, you haven't learned. Those who are coming from commerce background, the sixth point you haven't learned actually. I think only 6 points, that is balance sheet, you are prepared. But I think the special points you'll be learning in CF Foundation. Special adjustments are special points to be remembered. What are those special points? I'll tell you. Okay, what are the special points? Let me explain one by one. So, what is special points means? Share of outgoing partner, share of outgoing partner in profit or loss up to the date of retirement or death. Share of outgoing partner in profit or loss up to the date of retirement or death. Sir, what do you mean by this? Share of outgoing partner in profit or loss up to the date of retirement or death. What do you mean by this? See, for example, balance sheet date 31st December 2019. Date of retirement or death 31st March 20. Then the next balance sheet date is 31st December 20, you know. So in the meanwhile, you need to settle the amount due to outgoing partner up to the date of 31st March 20. Previous balance sheet date is 31st December. Next balance sheet is 31st. He can't wait till 9 months, no. So you need to make a payment for how many months? 3 months. This is what is called as share of outgoing partner in profit or loss up to the date of retirement or death. If a partner is retiring on balance sheet date, no issue. This point does not arise. This point arises only if partner is retiring after the balance sheet date. Simple words. Here I am writing note. If partner retires or death on the balance sheet date, the above adjustment is not required, because partner has retired on 31st December 9/12. Our partner has died 31st December 12, because that is partner has retired on 31st December 2019. If partner retires or death on balance sheet date, the above adjustment is not required. That is on 31st December 19 if he retires. Okay. So then what you don't need to you don't need to go for adjustment, because already up to the date of retirement, profit and loss account, whatever the share of profit, that will be transferred. The following, what I'm trying to say is that 31st December 19 is the date on which you close your books. On the same day, partners retire. So no problem, because whatever the amount which is due, what is your share of profit, you have made payment. But the question arises when a partner has died or retired after balance sheet date. I think this point is important. When this point is important here, when this is important, here I am writing. If partner retires or dies if partner retires or dies on the balance sheet, about just if partner retires or dies after the balance sheet date. In the above example, say on 31st March 2020, then we need to find out the share of profit. We need to find out the share of profit up to the date of retirement or death. And how to calculate, we'll be learning. How to calculate that, we'll be learning on the when we are having one problem. When at that point of time, I'll tell you. But let me orally explain. See, you can't find out the profit or loss for 3 months, no? Then what you do? You take the previous year profit as the basis for finding out the share of profit, or you can find out the share of profit up to the date of death on the basis of average profits of preceding years. Is this clear? We can find out the share of profit on the basis of previous year profit or preceding year's average profit. So here I'm giving here explanation. This can be done on the basis of previous year profit or average profits of preceding 3 or 5 years as per instruction in the problem. As per instruction given in the problem. This can be done on the basis of previous profit or average profits of preceding 3 or 5 years as per instruction given in the problem. We'll be doing it. Is this clear to all of you? So I told you, share of outgoing part in profit or loss up to the date of retirement or death. If partner retires, dies on the balance sheet date, above adjustment is not required. If partner retires or dies after the balance sheet date, in the above example here, above example on 31st March, then we need to find out the share of profit after the date of retirement or death. That is for how many months? 3 months. So here I have told you, this can be done. This can be done means 3 months profit. 3 months profit. This can be done on the basis of previous year profit or average profit. Why? Because you next balance sheet date is 31st December 2020. 31st December. That the outgoing partner can't wait, or deceased partner representatives can't wait for such a long time. That is the reason why this adjustment is relevant. This is special point, means if it is there in the problem only we do it. If it is not given, we can't do it. So that is why it is going called as special adjustments or special points. Okay. So the first point I've explained you already, special point. The second special point is that this is very important. Share in joint life policy. Share in joint life policy. So share in joint life policy. So we discuss about what is joint life policy. Now, see, to before I go to that, let me explain how share we talk about sharing joint life policy. I'm explaining you here treatment of joint life policy. So today's class I'm explaining share in joint life policy of whom? Outgoing partner. So that treatment we'll be discussing. Before I go into the treatment of joint life policy, what exactly I would like to explain you is that today's class, few things I would like to explain you. The question number one which I would be discussing with you is that, okay, so first let us see what is joint life policy. Few terms I'll explain before I go into the treatment of joint life policy. Okay, so what is joint life policy? When a partner has retired or died, if firm has taken a joint life policy. What is joint life policy? The joint life policy is a life assurance policy taken on the lives of the partners, and premium is paid by the firm. I repeat once again, what is joint life policy? Is a life assurance policy taken on the lives of the partners, and premium is paid by the firm. And this joint life policy can be taken jointly or severally. Jointly means combinedly. All partners, in the name of all partners, one policy is being taken. Severally means a joint life policy can be taken individually. So here I am explaining what is joint life policy. It is a life assurance policy taken on the lives of the partners. It is joint life, it is a life assurance policy taken on lives of the partners, and premium. You know, whenever you take life policy, periodically you need to make a payment, is called as premium. And premium is paid by the firm. It is a life assurance policy taken on the lives of the partners, and premium is paid by the firm. Next. It can be taken it can be taken it can be taken jointly or severally. This policy can be taken jointly or severally. Jointly means what? Severally means what? Here, let me explain. Example: three partners A, B, C. There are three partners. In the name of all the three partners, you have taken a policy for rupees 1 lakh. This is policy amount. It is called as policy taken jointly. Now, severally means individually. Severally means individually. Let me explain. Same example. A, B. In the name of A, you have taken policy for 50,000. In the name of B, you have taken policy for 25,000. In the name of C, you have taken policy for 25,000. This is the example of joint life policy taken severally. Severally means here individually. Jointly means in the name of all the partners, you have taken single policy is called as joint life policy taken jointly. Severally means you have taken policy individually in the name of A 50,000, in the name of B 25,000, in the name of B 25,000. You following all of you? So what is joint life policy? It is assurance policy taken on the lives of the partners and premium is paid by the firm. Then why joint life policy is taken? Next question is why JLP is required? See, you need joint life policy because when a partner is retired or died, you need to have a huge amount for settle for making payment to outgoing partner. Generally, partner capital is blocked in the form of assets, etc. No, since a partner is leaving, just you don't want to sell the assets, and then it is going to affect the financial affairs of the organization. That is why when you take a policy, when partner is leaving, you'll be getting substantial amount by through surrendering the policy. We'll be discussing that also. Through surrendering the policy or the policy has been matured, we'll be getting more amount. I think that amount can be used for making payment to partner. I think that is for providing the fund. That is why joint life policy generally is being taken. JLP is taken for providing the funds required in the case of partner leaving the firm. In case of partner leaving the firm, that is be retirement or death, whatever it may be. Joint life policy is taken for providing the funds required in the case of partner leaving the firm, that is retirement or death. Okay, then we knowing a few things here today. Few terms we'll be learning today. One is surrender value. We have learned about what is premium, periodical payment made by the firm for providing the funds. That we have learned already. What is surrender value? This is the amount to be received from the insurance company when a partner has retired before the maturity of the policy. Surrender value means, I am writing here, this is the amount to be received. This is the amount to be received from insurance company this is the amount to be received from insurance company when a partner has retired before the maturity of the policy. Sir, this is the amount to be received from insurance company when a partner has retired before the maturity of the policy. So what do you mean by maturity? Say when you take a policy, like we can take policy individually, a life insurance corporation of India, LIC of India is there. We also got some private operators. Whenever you take a policy, you'll be having the term to be decided by the policy holder. The policy holder, in case of partnership firms, the firm is a policy holder because you've taken policy in the name of the partners, but the premium is being paid by the firm. Like similarly, if I want to take policy individually, I've decided to take 1 lakh policy. I need to fix the term. How long you want to take the policy? You will be having, like, depending upon the term, 1 lakh policy, the term is 10 years, the premium will be more. 1 lakh, same 1 lakh rupees, if the policy term is for 20 years, premium will be less. But you will be getting 1 lakh rupees after 20 years. That is what is called maturity date. After 10 years, if I take policy for 10 years, that 1 lakh rupees I am going to get after 10 years. That is what is called as maturity date or due date. So generally we will be using the word maturity date. So surrender value, if a partner is retiring before the maturity date, say for example, partnership firm has taken policy for 10 years. During this 10 years period, say after 5 years, he has decided to retire. So then to make a payment, because he is also having the share in that joint life policy, because whenever something is being taken using the firm money, every partner is having the right. So when partner is leaving the firm, he definitely wants, my money is being used for my share is there on since the firm money has been used for making the payment of premium, and that I want my share on the policy that is being taken in the name of all partners. So the retiring partner definitely will be asking. Then you need to go to insurance company. You need to surrender. That surrender means I don't want to continue. You take the policy, my policy certificates I am giving to the submitting to the insurance company. Insurance company will be paying me surrender value. That surrender value will be distributed not only to outgoing partner, to all partners. That we will be learning in the entries part, adjustment part. So this is what is called as surrender value. This is the amount to be received from insurance company when a partner has retired before the maturity of the policy, and this amount will be shared. Then for the sharing of the amount, we are having different method that we discuss in the due course of time. Then next, policy amount. I've explained you about surrender value. Now let me take you to policy amount. Sir, what is policy amount? See, let me tell you. This is the amount to be received from insurance company, maturity or death, whichever comes earlier. Maturity or death means, I told you, policy has been taken for 10 years. If 10 years all the partners are alive, you get policy amount. 1 lakh you will get it. And the partners decide to retire after 10 years, fine. The entire 1 lakh rupees the firm is going to get, because the partner has retired after the maturity of the policy. Maturity period is 10 years. After 10 years, yes, you can submit the policy, then you can get back the money, full amount you can get. But before maturity period, if you get, you will be getting less amount. That is what surrender value. So how much, sir? It is a calculation. They got the formula. According to that, they calculate. But one thing I want to tell you, surrender value keeps on increasing but the surrender value will be less than what you have made payment to insurance company. So always it is advantage to continue the policy rather than going for discontinuation of policy. Surrender value is nothing but surrender. When you surrender means this is discontinuing the policy. When you discontinue the policy, it is a loss actually. You won't be getting the exact amount what you have paid to the insurance company. But in case of policy maturity, the policy was with you till maturity, you will get full amount. So this is what surrender value, policy is discontinued. Policy amount will be getting when policy is continued till the maturity date. Or why should you take a policy? It's a protection. It's a life assurance. If something goes wrong, a partner has died before the maturity, say after 4 years of taking the policy, suddenly one partner has expired, then insurance company is going to give you full amount. Do you follow? So that is why it said death or maturity, whichever comes earlier. If death comes earlier, policy amount will be given. That policy amount again will be distributed to all the partners, not only deceased partner. Or if maturity comes earlier, that amount also will be distributed to all partners. So this is the amount to be received, policy amount I am writing. This is the amount to be received from insurance company this is the amount to be received from insurance company on the date of or maturity or death, whichever comes earlier. Whichever comes earlier. Okay, this is amount to be received from insurance company on the date of maturity or death, whichever comes earlier. So today we have learned few things here. So treatment of JLP we'll be discussing in a short while. Maybe I'll be taking because this you can go through today. Then we got three methods actually: expense method, asset method, reserve method. And that expense method, asset method, in the case of retirement, what is the treatment means, how to record in the books of account, that we'll be discussing in the coming class. So for the time being, treatment of joint life policy we'll be discussing. Before we go to the treatment of joint life policy, we have learned today what is JLP. It is a life insurance policy taken on the lives of the partners, and premium is paid by the firm. It can be taken jointly or severally. I've given example. Jointly means one single policy, severally means individually, and jointly means here one single policy. Now why JLP is required? JLP is taken for providing the funds required in the case of partner leaving the firm, that is retirement or death. Surrender value, this is the amount to be received from insurance company when a partner has retired before the maturity of the policy. Policy amount, this is the amount to be received from insurance company on the date of maturity or death, whichever comes earlier. I think these things we have learned today. And tomorrow's class, treatment, we talk about treatment. So treatment, so what is treatment? Expense method, asset method, reserve. There are three methods, and those three methods insurance company follow. So the partnership firm can follow any of the method, but the net effect will be the same. So either you can follow for recording the transaction of when you take a policy, you can follow expense method, you can follow asset method, you can follow reserve method. Now please try to understand that this is important point I would like to make. The treatment of joint life policy means here on the date of retirement or death. See, on the date of retirement or death, how much amount is to be transferred. That is what is called as share in joint life policy. Are you following? This is what is called as share in joint life policy. That means we want to have a share in joint life policy for outgoing partner. To know that, we need to do some adjustment on the date of retirement and on the date of death. This is what is called as treatment of joint life policy. On the date of retirement, if partner has retired, which value will be given? Surrender value. If partner has died, which value will be given? Policy amount. And that surrender value, how you are distributing to partners. That policy amount, how you are distributing to partners. I told you, even though we talk about share, but all the partners are entitled to get a share. That means when a partner is retired, apart from the partner who is retiring, the remaining partners are also entitled to get some share. That you should learn. When a partner has died, along with the deceased partner, remaining partners are also having the share. So that share in joint life policy you need to adjust on the date of retirement and on the date of death. This is one aspect. The other aspect is that, and this retirement and death, we are having three methods. In these three methods, how you will be adjusting on the date of retirement death, that we will be taking in the next class. This is point number one. Point number two, when you take a policy, 5 years back I have taken policy. All these 5 years, how you need to maintain accounts. This is one aspect. Second is on the date of retirement or death is another aspect. Is this clear? Suppose I have taken policy in 2010. A partner is retired in 2015. So 2010 to 2015, I need to maintain accounts from when you take a policy. And that maintenance of accounts can be either expense method or asset method or reserve method. There are three methods. Any one method can follow, not all the three methods. That is one aspect. Generally, very rarely that question is being asked. But when you are doing the problem, you are having adjustment relating to joint policy. We are not talking about 2010 to 2015 accounts. We are looking at on the date of retirement, on the date of death. Say for example, on 31st December 15, a partner is retired. Say for example, 31st December 2015, a partner has died. On that date, what is that amount you are going to transfer? That is what I told you. If partner is retired, surrender value will be transferred. If partner has died, policy amount will be transferred. And that is called as treatment. So that treatment, depending upon the accounting methods which the firm is adopting. I think that is what we will be learning in the next class. I hope you all are following. I am trying to give you detailed manner. Notes you can copy it on my dear friends. Let me tell you, basics you will be knowing for yourself. If I repeatedly telling you so many things, this is important, this is important. It's not like I'm boosting myself, but definitely I've seen that because I've been teaching from last 28 years in this profession. 28 years almost. This 28 years has been completed. Now I'm into 29th year. I'll tell you, you can't say how the basics are going to be important for next stages. Always I believe you, and the most important thing, the memory which you carry forward, retention capability of whatever has been learned is definitely going to be helpful. So I'll just give a small example. I've seen a problem where in presently in group 2, previously it was in group 1 partnership accounts. A partner has retired, one problem. A partner has died, another problem. A partner is admitted. In all the three cases, they have created a problem, such a problem. Partner is admitted, then they done business for 1 year, then they went for dissolution, they floated a company. Three things: admission, you need to do adjustments. After 1 year, dissolved. That means for 1 year you have to prepare partnership final account. Then they went for dissolution. You'll be learning the dissolution. Then they floated a company. They are asking balance sheet, 16 marks. Admission of partner knowledge is important. So is the case of retirement and death. One partner is retired, one problem. One partner has died. That is on the date of retirement, on the date of death, you need to do adjustment. They have carried business for 1 year, remaining partner. Then they went for dissolution. They then floated a company. I think these things are definitely basics, at least the minimum basic knowledge. That is important. Similarly, fixed capital fluctuating. I've seen previously the institute where I was working earlier. long back. Sir, how to know which is the fixed capital, which is fluctuating? And I wonder what you have learned in foundation. And let me tell you, previously in IPCC, whatever you are learning, admission, retirement, death, these were there as advanced level in group 1 also. But that has been taken out now. That has been only restricted to foundation. So there the students used to learn 2 times. In foundation, then we used to call that particular period as a CPT. CPT, admission, retirement, death. Again, CA inter group 1, admission, retirement, death. 2 times after learning, 2 times again they were having doubts, sir. In when you go group 2, sir, what is the difference between fixed capital fluctuating? We are already always having confusion. That is why in beginning I told you clearly the difference I've explained, and everything I'm giving in detailed manner. I hope you all are following. If time permits, better. I think the examinations also has been postponed. Don't postpone your preparation. Is this clear? Don't postpone your preparation. You prepare yourself as if you are having examination the next month, and that will be putting you in good frame of mind, the spirit. You won't be losing it. You prepare like I'm going to write examinations. Then what happened? Then if the extra time which you are having is like a revision, you can thoroughly revise it. Is this clear? So I think this is small advice I wish to share with you. This is what you can see whenever you want to look into it. Yes, you can pass. I think the adjustments I've given very detailed manner I've explained. These things you don't have any notes in the according to your convenience. I mean the main points. I think that is why I've compiled here the few things which normally I dictate to my students in the classroom. Sometimes I'll be writing on the board. Since I thought of orally dictating, maybe whether you are having the book or in which mode, I think you need to copy down simultaneously listening it. So I thought of writing on the screen, thing which is visible to you. I hope you all are following this. Okay, so shall I continue? Shall I conclude the day with this particular discussion? Right, we'll move on to the next class. We work out few problems on. First, we learn the treatment on the date of retirement, death. Then we work out few problems on joint life policy. Then we will move on to the problems of retirement and death. It will take 3 to 4 classes. Then we will be going for retirement come admission. Few more things they will be learning. With that, we shall be able to finish off the partnership accounts. Okay. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much. God bless you all.